Hi everyone, this is Dr. Michelle Chung. I'm a clinical psychologist in New York and I'm hoping that this video finds you all safe and doing well. I'll be speaking today a bit about how to manage stress and uncertainty in this unprecedented and pretty strange time. I know that there have been a lot of tip sheets that have been distributed already, so I wanted to focus on ways to help that haven't been discussed as much. It's important to set a routine, to exercise, to get fresh air, to stay connected with others, and to limit your access to being bombarded by the news. However, I will be focusing on some other ways to cope. I'm sure most of us are feeling less control than we might like or are comfortable with during this time. In situations like this, I think it's important to focus on what you can control. So, to really empower yourself by doing things that you can do to stay safe, that you can do to stay healthy, and possibly can do to stay sane. Um, for example, making sure that you just wash your hands when you come back from being outside, or eating healthy and staying informed, being prepared, staying connected with your loved ones. These are all great ways that we can exert some control in this situation. As we're all settling into the reality of social distancing, I think finding ways to spend our time will also be important to help us cope. So rather than focusing on productivity, which I know a lot of people have been speaking about, I actually think it's more important to find things that will make you feel satisfied or successful. So that can be something that's productive, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. So learn something new, maybe a new language, maybe a new craft, making things with your hands, knitting or sewing. I know has been popular. I actually know somebody who's been making washable face masks for hospital workers. Obviously, cooking or trying a new recipe or doing things that you've wanted to do at home but maybe haven't had the opportunity to do. This is a great time to clean out that closet or to organize your desk or go through some old photos, put them in albums, or maybe even just pick up that book that you've been really wanting to. Obviously, it's important to stay connected to others, but I really want to stress making this a priority by scheduling it into your day. So, really setting aside the time to do that. I want you to get creative and to think outside the box. So, some people have arranged virtual happy hours or a lunch date or a video with friends or coworkers. For kids, I think it's great to arrange possibly shorter play dates with friends over video chat. And if you're that person that doesn't feel comfortable video chatting because you don't like to see yourself on that video screen, I think this is a great time to be able to research that option to close that little window. And if you're not a phone person and don't like being on the phone very long, I think being able to say to somebody, hey, I have 10 minutes, but I would love to catch up with you before I have to get on another call or I have to go cook. So really setting a time limit, a beginning and an ending time, I think is a great way to manage that. Another way to stay connected to others is to contribute and to help another person. So doing something kind for others obviously makes you feel really good and it provides a healthy distraction. It also helps to provide perspective on a situation, maybe a perspective on other situations, and also helping to channel that extra energy and time that we might have. So try to reach out to somebody who might be alone or who might be having a difficult time. Just text them, asking a neighbor if they need anything when you go out for some supplies. If you have a special talent like playing an instrument or artwork, just kind of video recording yourself, sharing it. I'm sure you've seen some celebrities and artists doing this on social media. And if you have kids around, I think this is a great opportunity to model and to teach that helping others is actually an important thing to do, and what a great way to get them involved right now. As most of us are stuck at home with family, roommates, partners, or maybe even just by ourselves, so many of us are finding this to be challenging, and it is not easy at certain points. So to be able to channel just a bit more patience, forgiveness, even some compassion. We just need a little bit more flexibility than normal. And I think it's important to really go with the flow, to look at things from other people's perspectives, to forgive one another. If you or another might behave in a certain way, to really be able to look at them compassionately. And I want you to also channel that compassion towards yourself as well, because that's also an important piece to keeping ourselves stress free and okay. Another thing to do is to really, I'm encouraging people to make lemonade out of lemons. So, yes, I am asking you to find that silver lining. Yes, there is anxiety, real inconveniences, true threats, and fears. And this is also an opportunity to spend time to bond with our family members, our kids, our friends, or to do those things that you might not have been able to do. We're really in this situation together, so we might as well find some ways to make the best of it. Along with that, practice taking notice of the positive things around you. So even when you're having a bad day, there's always positive things happening around you. Look for those things in your daily life, or for things to approach with gratitude. You know, is the sun shining? Was your lunch delicious? Did you get to hear your favorite song today? Laughter is also a form of medicine. Look for those moments to laugh and be silly, make jokes. If that seems difficult, which I know it may for some people, watch a funny show or a movie or a video, listen to a lighthearted podcast. I really want to challenge you to find 3 positive things or grateful things daily. To ask yourself or your family members or your partner this question on a daily basis, I think is really important practice. In order to make sure this happens, I would say schedule in at least one pleasant or fun activity. There is a difference between what you want to do, what you have to do, and what you feel like you should do but are avoiding. It's great to check one item off of each of those lists every day. However, I want to really focus on the want to do or pleasurable activity and make sure it's scheduled into every single day. It can be a small gesture, such as watching a favorite TV show or eating a dessert. It doesn't have to be anything big, but I do think it's important to focus on and practice. One thing I want to stress that everyone must do during this time is to stop and take notice of your own emotional experience, especially anxiety, feeling overwhelmed at times, and maybe even loneliness. When you notice it, be kind to yourself and do what you can to manage or to cope with that emotion. And if we don't notice our emotional states, it will creep up on us and eventually become a bigger problem. So really find that time for self-care. It's easy to get caught up in all the preparation and the stress of everything going on around. So just stop and take notice of your own mental state, emotional state, physical state. If you're around family members or other people, find moments of quiet time, really stress sleep, and prioritize that. Find moments to wind down and to de-stress. It can be a hot shower, a hot cup of tea, a mindless TV show, maybe some time for exercise. Try to do this for yourself on a daily basis. This is probably the most important tip that I can give to you, which is to embrace and to radically accept the change and uncertainty of this time. I know this is easier said than done, but it is important. When we're able to radically accept a situation, we stop focusing on the negative points and stop feeling badly about ourselves or for ourselves. And only then can we start to focus on what we can do to make things better given the situation. And I know that this is a difficult time, probably one that's unprecedented in most of our lifetimes. The only thing we know for sure is that things are changing and that there is a good amount of uncertainty. And the faster we're able to accept that, the easier it will be to cope. So finally, my last tip is to find an easy mantra that you can say to yourself to remind yourself that you can do this or that you'll get through this. These mantras can really be helpful in difficult moments. So channel that inner cheerleader to be able to help you get over those humps. So I leave you with this mantra. We will get through this. Many other countries are already starting to see the light at the end of their tunnel, so hopefully that is a positive turn of events. I hope some of these tips will be helpful, and please, everyone out there, take care. Bye.